Greetings, fellow men. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today I kind of want to conclude my series on Japanese women and life in Japan for foreigners in general, I think. So, yeah, I don't want to drag this out longer than it needs to be. I think these were the basic types of women that came to my mind, and about life in Japan in general, I can say that it's I stayed here for a couple of years, and I must say it was pretty awesome. It was a nice experience. Living here for a long time, living here for good, building a career here as a foreigner. Now that is a completely different endeavor. For that you would have to speak fluent Japanese or be sent by a company from abroad. But even then, I mean, if you want to socialize, if you want to have a family, or if you want to build your life here, have a circle of friends, you will not get around learning Japanese, becoming fluent in Japanese, unless you want to live in the gaijin bubble. And been there, done that for a short amount of time, and yeah, it's fun, but it was okay. So I really wouldn't want to do that for longer. I mean, in these pubs where you then go to meet your friends, you see these guys, sometimes they're here for 20 years already, they have kids, Japanese wife, and they don't speak as well. Maybe they speak a single word of Japanese, but they cannot really interact with Japanese people in a normal way. Here you see the nice love hotels again, and that is not really a future that I really saw for myself. So I went back to the West, and I like it much better there. I'm sure. I mean, I didn't leave Japan because I think that Japan has no future. I mean, quite the opposite. I mean, they're a hard-working people, and their companies are pretty awesome. They hold a lot of patents, and they're still doing top research. So I think Japan will probably always be a strong, economically strong nation. And don't be fooled by growth rates. I mean, people in banking and people in economics, they like growth rates. You know, a country with a good growth rate is a country that you can borrow a lot of money to, or that you can sell a lot of loans, and that's what they like. But that is not everything. I mean, when you're in Japan, you will see that people have a really good life here. I mean, of course there are rich people, there are poor people, like everywhere, but generally I would say if you work a normal job and you have health insurance, you can go to a doctor and there is no waiting time. And compared to the places I know, at least, everything is relative, but I think medicine and medical treatment was extremely reasonably priced here in Japan, and doctors know their shit, and they don't let you wait, no bullshit. I really like that. Staff in restaurants and in shopping centers or something, and shops are really efficient, they're polite, and they do their job well. I think generally one can say that Japanese people take more pride in their work, even though we might consider it just a little job. But I don't really see people here with an attitude so much. They do their job, and if you're not an asshole and if you pay, then there will not be a problem, you know? But I've never seen a shop clerk or a waiter with an attitude here, ever. And this is just awesome. I mean, when you come from a country like me, or the US maybe, yeah, there are so many people with an attitude problem, and that is just really uncomfortable. I don't like that. So in this sense, I really like Japan. People do their job. There might be misunderstandings. For example, like if your passport is not exactly as theirs. Yeah, for example, the German passport doesn't have a home address. All these things, you know, might cause little hiccups in the system. Sometimes you feel like they're cheating you, or that they're kind of sneaky or something, but most of the time they're just confused about something in the paperwork. So bottom line, I can say life in Japan is pretty great. The Japanese are hardworking people, as the cliche says, and the cliche is true. They are hardworking, honest people in general, and this is why I think that even though the birth rate is going down a little bit now, that does not mean that Japan is at the end or something. I enjoyed it very much here. It's a very close society, of course, and I think they this is not the worst thing for them, I guess. If I look at how things are like right now in Germany, I wish that we could be a little more closed and a little more secluded and close our borders and be a little more strict. This is something that, in my mind, Japanese people do right. I mean, this is something that they're really doing right. And yeah, most of the country is actually forest and mountains. So if you like the countryside, if you like hiking, if you like rock climbing or mountains, Japan is the right place for you also. It has incredible, I mean, different landscapes, different islands. Hokkaido, for example, is a little bit like Europe, I think. They have potatoes there and milk cows and stuff. Whereas the southern islands are almost tropical. Well, not really tropical, but you have like oranges and stuff there. So yeah, so you have a nice variety even within Japan. And I can just say I really enjoyed it here, and there is a lot of Japan bashing going on at the moment. I cannot really see it that way. To me, I mean, I cannot really see how Japan will ever not be a prosperous country. I just can't see it, because the people are skilled, they're smart, they're hardworking, and no matter what the population density might be or something, they will always have a place in this world. They will always make amazing products that they will sell to the rest of the world. And yeah, so I guess they will always live well. Yeah? Maybe their work hours are too long, yeah? But that's their problem, really. I mean, that's a decision that they made. I can't really comment on that. That's just their lifestyle. That's the way they want it, apparently. It's not the way I want it. This is why I'm back in Europe now. But I will keep visiting, of course, and so can you. So the yen is a little strong at the moment, but yeah, as soon as this will swing around again, it will become maybe even cheap to visit here. Yeah, the yen is going up and down all the time, so just watch it, and maybe you can plan a short trip to Japan and see for yourself. Okay, so I hope you liked that one. And yeah, I just want to add, I'm not a professional J-vlogger, or I didn't study Japanese culture. I mean I studied it a little bit, read something that interests me, and I lived here for a couple of years. I know people who lived here for several decades, and I talked a lot to them, but I mean, I can almost see like one of these professional gaijins coming out of the woodworks and saying, oh, what you say in your videos is all a bunch of bullshit, you know, if you would read the history of Japan, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. This is my impression, this is my point of view, and yeah, if you want to have a look into this very obscure niche of YouTubers, the Japan vloggers, they're kind of a little subspecies of YouTube content producers, and they're basically foreigners who are living in Japan for one or the other reason, and they kind of try to tell the rest of the world, or the new arrivals here, how life in Japan is. And basically there is a lot of infighting about what you can blame Japanese people for, or what is Japanese people's fault and what isn't Japanese people's fault, and if Japan is awesome, or if it's semi-awesome, or you know, all that stuff, and who speaks better Japanese, and oh, I heard this guy cannot really speak Japanese. Ooh. Yeah, it's very childish, it's very horrible. Some of them are funny, some of them are prostitutes, I think, and people start kind of yeah, they start guessing what their source of income in Japan might be, and then, well, I think the most probable solution is that they're actually hostesses or prostitutes, but well, we will never know. Japan vloggers, yeah, not really a group I want to belong to, but I thought I'd just give you a glimpse of how life for a foreigner or life in general is here. I hope you enjoyed this, I hope you got some value out of that, and I think I will move on to other topics, revisiting Japan, of course, every now and then. I mean, I'm still connected to the country somehow. Yeah, so catch you guys again soon. Servus, Kameraden.